We're live.
Oh my goodness. So I would like to say welcome to everyone. This is the Waiting Game, chapter 35. You know who I am. I am Victoria L. Beneath me is my girl Tanya. Next to her is my girl Maggie. And oh my God, we have somebody so special with us. This is from our childhood. We used to walk down from the EPI to basketball. Yes, we was all on the basketball team. Mm-hmm. And we have the star with us. Her name is Tony. Oh my God! Her husband is going to come in when he comes, and she's going to talk to us about her livelihood and what's going on in her life and with marriage, her relationship, how they met, what's going on. So go ahead and give us the rundown, Tony.
Yes, let me hurry up and get my side of the story of how we met before he come in here. Because what I remember and what he probably gonna tell y'all is two totally different things at all. But thank you guys so much for reaching out. Like I said, I told Victoria, I said I thought it was like a little spam or something, because I'm like, me? Like, I got a boring life, you know? I just get up, go to work, go to school, take care of kids, and repeat, you know? So I'm so excited and honored that you guys asked me and my husband to do this. To do this and stuff like that. We normally are very, like, it took me a couple of days to get back to you because we normally don't share this side of us. Oh, wow. A lot of y'all might remember me being out there loud, but I'm very, very, very calm and very protective about who we share not only our marriage with, but our children with. So we just, you know, because you can't let everybody into your circle. Everybody don't have the same energy, and you just never know. So yeah. But I'm Tony Coleman. I used to be Tony Mason, then Tony Johnson, and now I'm Tony Coleman. I've been married to my husband for 9 years. We've been together for 12. And we have it's crazy because the twins. So for our family, so I was born in Illinois, relocated to Georgia, graduated high school, married, had my first 2 children here in Georgia, moved to Tennessee with my ex-husband. We were there for probably 3 years, I want to say, and then got divorced, moved to Iowa, met my current husband, and we've been together ever since. So we have 7 children altogether. We have
7. Hallelujah.
7. Yes, that's the magic number, 7. We have 6 boys, 6 young men. Sorry, because they grown half the time. And a young lady. So we have Savion, who's 26. Vanessa is 22. Marcus is 21. Devin is 20. Michael is 17, and the twins are 13.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So we have our own little squad over here, just living and moving and shaking up in this piece. So.
Oh my God.
Yes.
A whole squad.
So
how did that, like, when you guys met, how did the kids even come, like, how did that situation come about? How did y'all connect?
So, and he pulling up. Let me hurry up and tell my story. I'm like, wait a minute, I hear the car coming. So when I moved to Iowa, I was like in this old 1999 Plymouth Voyager. And I was a medical assistant at the time. And so I just put the boys in a vehicle in the van and went to Iowa. I had nothing in Iowa, didn't really know anybody. And I was like, let me do it. Like, it's no time but the present. Like, if I had waited any longer, I think it would have been detrimental to not only my health, but to the health of my boys. That's why I have locks, because when I was going through that transition, I was stressed. My hair was falling out. I used to weigh 315 pounds. I've never. Yes. I was.
You tell people you are tall though. You are tall though.
Yeah, whatever. 315 is 315, regardless of how tall you are.
True.
Yeah. So we moved up there, and probably 2 months after I moved up there, the first snowstorm of the season, and my vehicle breaks down on my way to work.
Oh.
What the hell?
Okay.
So I'm like, I gotta find a vehicle. So I went to the closest car lot, and then I went in there, and the dude was like, well, we're about to close, but let me introduce you to the salesperson. And lo and behold, here come Randall Coleman. I was like,
oh my goodness.
hey. But he was really staring at me the whole time. Like the whole time.
Of
you
course
know?
He was.
Exactly. Of course.
Of course he was.
Exactly. So he always jokes like I came in with the first snowstorm and all of that kind of stuff. And I actually never bought a vehicle from him. Ever.
Oh. So, wait. So it was kind of like happenstance. Like boom. You was
yes,
there.
like for real. Right at the right time, yeah. And I ghosted him, or what they call ghosting now. I ghosted him for a while. And then, in his old way, let me hurry up, here he come up the stairs. So I ghosted him, and then he gonna send me a Facebook message, which I still have to this day.
Keep it.
Hey, if you're still in the market, here's my cell phone number. Who gives the cell phone number if you're not trying to talk to somebody?
Yeah,
wait,
give you
so
the
y'all
office
didn't
number.
exchange?
He would
Y'all
give you
didn't
the office
exchange
number if you're
information?
trying to get a car. Mm-hmm.
No,
y'all didn't exchange
not until
information
he
at
hit
office?
his DM.
He could have gave you the work number.
Right, exactly.
If he could have gave you the work number, he was trying to holler. Because if he was trying to get you, he give you the personal number.
Yes, exactly. So we got together for dinner. It was like in and out, never could get together. And then it's funny because when I was looking for a vehicle, I had nieces and nephews. So I was like, oh, I need a van because, I always have my nieces and nephews and my kids and stuff like that. And he was like, oh, okay. And later on, he told me, like, I always said, Lord, the next woman I'll meet, she can't have more than like 2 kids. And here I come with 4.
Double.
Double and double again. So since our first date, back in 2009, we have been inseparable, legit inseparable. So you go through your trials. Like, I'm not saying, like, I learned so much from my marriage with Mark, my relationship with him, what I was willing to accept and what I wasn't. And it was time. Like, it was legit time to just move on, sever that right there, because I wouldn't be able to move on if I was still living in the past. So
what did he do that made you finally be like, okay, let me go and get his joker a call?
Let me hear.
Honey, cause he was persistent. And then he was persistent.
That's right.
Okay.
Persistence. Okay.
And when y'all see him, he got these dimples. Lord have mercy. And he got that. He's quiet, he's laid back. And here I am, like, all over the place. So we really kind of balance each other out. We have, my birthday's the 3rd of July, his is the 7th.
Wait a minute, y'all both
them cancers. Them cancers.
All right.
Yeah, so we just balance each other out, like, legit. And then, Spirit always finds a way to work into your life, man, like at the right time. Always, regardless of if you are looking for someone or not, Spirit always finds a way to bring that person into your life. Like, we didn't hang around the same crowd. We we lived two totally different lives. He was a car salesman. I was in healthcare. We would have never crossed paths if not for that moment. At all. Yeah. So,
Received.
I'm happy. I'm happy. Yeah. But that's
then when you say you guys were inseparable, right? So clearly the first dinner date night was amazing.
Yes, it was.
I guess. So what transpired after that, and how long were y'all dating before you took it to the next step? Next step meaning fiance, engagement, marriage, all that good stuff.
So next step was we never met each other's children for, I think we had been talking and dating for probably 6 months before the boys met him, before I met his children. Because when you're single parents, you have to be very selective about who you allow your children to be around. You don't want to continually introduce them to new people for that attachment, because as children, they get attached really, really quick. And then if it doesn't work out, then it's like a disappointment and a setup for a disappointment all over again. So now, they've bonded with someone that mom's no longer with. The other parent, mom or dad's no longer with. So you don't want to continue to take them through that pain of severance and disconnecting over and over and over again. So for me, because I was still so guarded, it was 6 months, literally.
Why did you feel comfortable?
The boys would be asleep. If he came over, like the boys would be asleep. Yeah, no. I was not playing that at all. No.
So what made you comfortable with introducing them at the 6 month mark?
Yeah.
Because for me, 6 months is like, okay, I got to know him, his character. He was a hard worker. He was loyal. He was trustworthy. And after 6 months, you can tell if somebody cray or not. Like for real. Like there's subtle signs. Like he wasn't stalking me. He wasn't calling me and blowing up my, you know what I'm saying? Just different things like that. And he actually met them in a setting with my family. So it wasn't just boom, here he is. He's coming to the house. He brought his kids over. It was Super Bowl or something like that. But yeah. So that's why. Yeah.
So I have a question. So you guys met, you went on your date. At what point did you say, okay, we got to take this to another level to be exclusive with each other, cut everybody off? If you were talking to someone else or he was, when did that happen? And what did you say?
Probably, honestly, after about the second month, it was kind of like, okay, if we're seeing each other more and more, it's kind of like, okay, I want to focus. You always got to come back to focus. And if you all over the place, you can't really truly focus. So yeah, about that time. And then as far as like engagement and stuff, I think we had been dating for 2 years before we got engaged. Yeah.
And how long were you engaged?
What, a year?
Okay.
I think a year. Yeah.
So we know, okay, so what made you say, okay, you wanted to come back to Atlanta or the cities on the outskirts? And, because you had built your own new life. He had his own life with his children. You had your kids. When you finally picked up and left, what made you say, okay, time to go back, or let's go back?
So we actually, once we just moved back. We've only been in Atlanta 5 years. So we haven't been back long at all. But we wanted something different for our children. They were so used to like the mixed, the diverse area and stuff. And just the teachers at their schools, they were all white. You know what I mean? The only blacks, if you want to call them blacks, were like the security officers or the PE team or the basketball coach. So we wanted them to be in an area to where they saw other melanated people achieving success and being heads of corporations, doctors, lawyers, people that look like them. because a lot of times it's important. Well, it's important for people and children to see things that they're familiar with, to know that they can strive to be better. So.
Okay. So when you met his children, did you beat their mama?
I did. So, but here's the deal. So with that situation, and I always tell people, what you see of a blended family on TV, like the Brady Bunch and stuff like that, it's not that. Because you have to deal with so many emotions. You have to deal with however not only the children are feeling, like you're trying to come in and be my mom, or you're trying to come in and be my dad. It's not that. It's growth. It wasn't all peaches and cream. There were some days I was like, I am not up for this at all. And he was the same way. But we had to sit down, come up with a game plan on how we were going to make it work. So, but yeah, I met their mom. Good conversations. Are we best friends? No.
You don't need to be.
How you doing? We're cordial. That's about it. Yes, that is about it.
Yeah, that blending takes some work.
It does.
Are y'all ready for this?
Yes, honey. Come on.
We're ready to hear from the man's perspective.
So here is Mr. Coleman.
Hey, how's everybody doing? How we doing?
So that is Victoria
in the light. Light up there.
and Maggie.
Victoria,
If y'all move the camera back over that way, we can barely see y'all.
Oh, okay.
Y'all in the darkness.
Right, we need some light. There we go. We need some light.
Hold on.
We
We gotta get the lamp.
Right.
I can't wait to hear his perspective.
But yeah.
While we're waiting, Jason in the chat said, I love that concept. I'm glad y'all did that for the children. He was like, you wanting to see Black people achieving and, seeing that they could be the same thing. So,
definitely. Yeah. It's important. The one thing that it was so different moving back, because I forgot the true culture of Atlanta. Like, it's changed over the years. One of the first questions we got asked, like when we came back, it wasn't, hey, where y'all from? What's your name? Da, da, da. It was like, what church do you attend? I'm like, in the living room. I don't go to church every Sunday, or, what fraternity are you part of? What sorority are you a part of? And stuff like that. So that was just crazy, like legit crazy pantsness. But we just had to do it, they're excelling. They, the older four, I gotta count my children. I'm like the older 4, 5, 6, 7. We got here. They all went back to Iowa.
They didn't want to stay.
No.
So y'all moved all of them here with you.
So no, there was 5 that moved down here. Our daughter and our oldest son stayed up there, but all of our older ones, so Savion, Vanessa, Marcus, Devin, they're back in Iowa, living life, living their best young people person life. Yeah. Yes. I would move back. I miss the simplicity of things. I miss it's a very, very small town. We used to walk to the gas station down the street on Saturday mornings. We went riding. Is that better?
Wait a minute. That's worse. You got to put the light in front of you.
It's coming.
That's not.
That's
like in front of your computer.
Oh,
like in your face.
Yeah.
Boom. There you go.
There you go.
Yes. Yep.
See your complexion.
okay. There we go.
Yes.
That's perfect.
Yes. That's
I don't be doing all of this. That's that
Girl,
new age.
welcome to meetings at home all day on day. So there he is.
Yep, that pandemic life, girl. We know.
Girl, we gotta get them lights.
Yeah, see, I don't have that luxury to be staying at the house. Like, no, at all. Y'all like it though?
We're grateful. We're grateful.
Right. Hello. I was about to say, I enjoy working from home.
I'm grateful.
Yes.
I'm going in. I'm
Yes.
going in.
She been going in. But she grateful because we get paid every month on time.
Hello.
Every single month. Y'all all work for the same company?
I work for the school system in DeKalb. Tanya worked for the school system in Gwinnett. Maggie the big dog. She
No.
Maggie big dog. Maggie downtown.
No. I just work in corporate.
She works in corporate.
Big dog downtown.
Downtown. Why everybody's trying to go.
But anyway, we talk about Hubby now because Hubby's on the video.
I'm just saying.
So Hubby, Randall.
Yes, Maggie.
Tone has told us how you guys met, but now you want to hear from the male perspective and see how truthful Tone was with the story, or there's some more parts to it.
Yeah, we gotta see what you were thinking when she walked in, talking about she want a car. What was going through your mind
when you saw her tall, mocha skin? What did you think?
Right. Coming through with the storm.
Oh, like when I first met her?
Yes.
Yes. We want to know how y'all.
I was selling cars.
What'd you think when I walked in?
I thought about a car sale.
What?
I was trying to sell cars. So.
We ain't hear none of that. Well,
What?
We heard you was staring her up and down the whole time.
You understand? And then she was like, until
then you was sliding in the DMs.
Yeah,
maybe not.
And gave her your number, talking about something. Hey, whenever you're ready for a car, here's my personal cell phone number.
If you're still on the market.
What?
No. It was, I actually was trying to sell cars, and she was gonna be my highest number if I would have. She never ended up buying a vehicle from me, but I hadn't heard from her in a while, so I did reach out like I did with all my potential customers.
What?
Professional.
It was New Year's, so I just reached out and gave a friendly hello. And she came back, and I thought she was coming back to get a vehicle, but we talked a little bit more, and I don't know, things just kind of started rolling from there a little bit.
Oh, you mean she came back to the car dealership?
Right.
She did. She came back with her brother, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because now listen, I did need a vehicle. I was gonna buy one, but I think other things happen. I'm just saying.
But Mr. Man is acting like, oh, well, I was just trying to sell a car, so it just happened, and then we got married. I'm just like, what? We need to know what happened that made you say, okay, let me take you out. Or I'm interested outside of a car.
Well, before he says that, Kendall in the chat said, why she come back though if she wasn't trying to buy that car?
Hello?
Kendall.
Thank you.
Hello?
Mind her business.
Kendall, you already know Libra vibes.
Oh God!
I was actually, I was single at the time, and when she came back, we had a little bit further conversation, and, it kind of went from there. We went on lunch.
We went to lunch.
Yeah, I think she brought lunch one day. You just bought me lunch out of nowhere.
I did.
Wait, we did not hear any of this.
She didn't say none of that.
Remember I said, let me say my side of the story before he comes?
Well, yeah, she had bought lunch and had told me that was not her boyfriend or husband. That was her brother.
Yeah.
Did he ask you? Did he ask you if that was...
No, but I needed him to know.
So that means you was interested in. That means you was interested.
Look at him.
Or with your dimples.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Girl.
I'm just saying what your wife has said to us.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Didn't
Yes.
say nothing about buying lunch.
None of that.
Leave
Say none of that.
with a lunch.
She said she ghosted you, bruh. She said she ghosted you and tried to, before she gave you a chance and said, boom, let's do it. That's what she said.
And then y'all was like, let's go to lunch.
And then
Right,
we went,
I said, we're going to play back the tape. That's what she did.
we went bowling. That was our first like true date without all of that kind of stuff. And I beat him in bowling.
Now wait a minute, how long had you been there, Tone, before y'all had met?
Man, what, 3 months? I think like 3 months.
Girl, everything with you is months.
I know, because so how I do it is I know when I started my job up there and when the first snowfall was. So like I started working in like September and I met him in like November, December. So that's how my mind is.
So while we going back down that timeline, I want to know, Randall, how you felt when she showed up with that lunch. What was going through your mind?
Hello?
And how did that, change your maybe interaction or intention?
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised. I enjoyed the lunch, and I understand what the gesture was, where she trying to go with that, so I rode with it, and like I said, before we even went on any dates, we spoke we would talk on the phone
for
like
hours,
like a couple of months.
Yeah.
Before we like 2 months or so.
Yeah.
Sorry about the months, but it was about 2 months before we even went on a date. Because I had 3 children. Excuse me, that I had 3 children, 2 of them in which I was raised in. So I was really protective of them and not wanting to just bring anybody around. That was really important to me. And it was important to her as well, because I didn't meet the boys until almost 6 months in or so after we had started dating. Before I even met them, so that stood out a lot to me. That says a lot. And I saw that we shared some of those same values, so that was important to me.
So we heard
part of me.
What's that?
So we heard, she said, Tone said you guys met each other's children at the 6-month mark. What made you comfortable introducing you or introducing her to your kids?
Well, I felt like I kind of knew her a little bit, and like I said, she had great qualities. And I felt like it was just a good time. And it wasn't like a big, like, we're going to, something we sat down and said, hey, we're going to introduce each other to each other's children. It was more kind of like something that just kind of flowed. One time we were like, hey, you want to meet the children? So it wasn't something that we just thought about, like, oh my goodness, how are we going to do this? It was something really subtle. I don't even know. It
was a Super Bowl party.
Okay.
What? And Ruth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tone with the details.
You remember those times, those special times where now it's like, man, okay, here we go. Let's see where this leads to. You know what I'm saying? Like, those were special times. Every day you don't get to. Now I recognize him as my soulmate. You don't get that interaction a lot. So that was a very, very pinnacle time in our relationship. Like, that, I think, is what catapulted us to the true next level. Like, that's big. That's really, really, really big.
So let me ask you this, since you are the definition of a blended family. So would you have, if one of your children from either one of you guys didn't necessarily agree with the union, would you have been like, oh, okay, well, you'll catch on when you catch on? Or would you just be like, oh, I mean, I'm not going to be with you because my kids don't want to be with you? Would y'all have ever done that? If your kids had any like hiccups, like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think a couple of them did. No, I know they did.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like that, and we didn't just brush it off. Actually, it was a time to sit down and have a conversation, and kind of educate them in a way of what was going on, because even at that point in time, we didn't know that we are going to be married, and be together. But we were together, but I mean, we didn't know we were going to get married and all that at that point in time. We weren't even living together. So it was just really a time to educate the children and have them be able to express, their feelings and why they're feeling like that. So it wasn't, it's just really a time to let them express. I would never just block them, never did.
Never.
Either one of us never blocked our children from being able to express, because they're gonna ask, is that, is she replacing mom? Is mom still gonna be able to come and pick us up? And the fellas, they said the same. They pretty much were saying the same thing, thinking that it was gonna be that it's a replacement, and it's really not. Being a blended family is not a replacement of anything. It's actually an added bonus.
It is.
If done effectively.
Correct. Yes. So like for me, it was hard just because the boys all of our children went through so much change and things like that. But like Randy said, we just sat them down and was like, listen, this is where we are right now. You're still going to be able to talk to your mom. You're still going to be able to see your dad, talk to him, talk to your nana and stuff like that. But shoot, now, like, we're like an extended blended family. Like, when we go back home, we recently went back home because our oldest sons put together a family reunion on Randy's side. And like his ex-wife was there. I'm like, what up? Hanging out, kicking, that's how it's supposed to be. You are supposed to be able to be in the same environment and be cordial. You have to be, for the sake of the children, regardless of how old they are. Nobody felt less than. It was always, hey, what do you need? Do you need me to help you with anything? All of that kind of stuff. So once we matured in our relationship and all of that.
Well, they did feel there was some less than moments. And, especially it's about order, just even with the biological family, the nuclear family. You have alpha's born, first child, and then you have the second one, and then maybe the third one comes, and somebody in that group of three is going to get a little jealous, or feel like their place is being taken, or their attention, the attention has been shifted. And so we did have that because my three, were older. They're older.
Yeah.
And so, like,
and then the boys, they literally,
I don't know if we can mention names, but
yeah, they were, I mean, I told y'all the ages. Like, we went from 22, 21, 20, like all in that area. And it's like, it was some.
And so your oldest one was not the
oldest any longer.
Any longer. And so that was the less
yeah,
than,
the less than, because
that was tough.
He felt like, what is my position now? I'm no longer the oldest. And for me, they'll tell you to this day, like, we don't use the word step in our family. They're not my stepkids. Those are my children. And they know I go hard for them.
Yeah, we definitely took, after we got married, everyone had a choice, they had a choice, to call me, Randall, or they had a choice, they could call me Dad. And the same with Tone, they all had a choice. And when they're ready, they're ready. So, but step, we've never used step. It's always, a step is like a condition, right? Yeah. Anytime you're going up or you're going down, there's a condition. And when you create that condition, you actually create some dividers, So, bonus or just children. There are children.
Okay, so I see how you got married. I see what you see in each other. I see. All right.
So, Randall, how did you propose, or when did you know you wanted to take that next step?
Maggie, yes.
Okay. Yes. Well, of course, I asked permission from her brother, her eldest brother, because her father wasn't living. So, I went through all that little initiation kind of stuff.
Initiation.
That's what it felt like. But anyways, it wasn't nothing really super duper romantic. It was supposed to be, but it was Iowa, and it was blizzard.
Yes.
Snow and rain and sleet. Everything just happened. It was supposed to be somewhere really beautiful. We weren't able to get there, and so I was like, well, we're gonna go to the restaurant. I was gonna propose at the restaurant, but it's Iowa, so it wasn't a romantic restaurant or anything. I think what ended up happening was I got so frustrated that we actually pulled over on the side of the highway because I was sweating.
He was nervous.
I was really nervous because my first marriage wasn't really a romantic marriage. It was young, and you just got married. But this was love. I really had love for her, and I wanted to express it in a beautiful way. But it ended up getting expressed, just outside and off the dark highway in the sleet, in the rain, in the snow, and
on our way back home.
Yeah. And it was beautiful. But
it was like
it was our beautiful.
It was our beautiful. Yeah, because we're not that elaborate, fancy dancy, put it all out there, showcase.
I was trying to.
I know, but but the crazy thing is, so the weekend that he proposed, I was actually in a training for a new job. And so he rode up there with me, and I was like, cool, hey, let's get it, And so when he picked me up, he was late for picking me up from my last day of training. Then I could tell that he was so nervous. And I'm like, what is going on? And he was like, oh, nothing. So, but it was cool though. I was happy. Like, I was like, yay, So, yeah.
Okay. So, I don't know. I was just thinking about this whole ordeal. So, you guys, I just heard that you mentioned you have been married before, Brother Randall. So, both of you guys, what made you say, okay, I want to try again? Because we've had a lot of people on the show who've been married a few times and they're on their second marriage or whatever level of marriage that they're on, they wanted to try over and do something new. So what made you say, okay, I'm going to start again? Because some people bash and be like, I'll never get married again, whatever the case may be. So what made you want to do that? Both of you guys.
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, for me, I was like, I had made a commitment with God, that I had told God one time that I didn't want to find a female with more than 2 children.
So much for that.
Yeah,
right.
So much for that.
That's the sense of, correction, indeed. But that's the sense of humor and the beauty of everything.
God doesn't give you what you want. He gives you what
no
you
one
need.
is 2 and gave you 4. Look at that.
He give you what you need, not what you want.
Right.
There it is. But for me, so y'all all know my aunt and uncle and stuff like that.
Yes.
And they're big in the church, all of that kind of stuff. And they always said that, they reminded me, you have to speak what you want. And stuff like that. And they're like, we're praying for you to meet that person and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I just threw it to the wayside because at that time, I wasn't, honestly, if I never got married again, I was okay. I really was. It would be me and my boys, like my ride or die. Like my boys are like my ride or dies. You know what I'm saying? And I was okay with that. And then I met him. Like, and it's like all bets off. Like, whoa, this is truly what I like to call now adult love is supposed to be about. And it's different. It is so different. The level of maturity, the ability to properly communicate your feelings and be and know that you're being heard. And that I was like, Shazam. I was smitten. I've told him before, but I promise you, our first date, I knew after that date, I came home and I told my sister-in-law, I said, I'm about to marry this man. Like, for real, for real.
Hold on, pause.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
All right. So
and what's your sister-in-law say?
Right. Okay.
She was like, "Oh, okay, that's fine."
Right.
I'm gonna go on plenty of more dates. I was like, "No, and after I never went on another date with anybody else. Like legit.
Wow.
Now, so now you spoke about you were kind of in a. Now, was this before you met your husband? When you said you were in a tough place. Had picked up. Was all this right before you had met him, or like during or after?
Great question.
It was before, during, because we didn't move in together. It was a while before we even moved in together. You know what I'm saying? And going from losing a lot of people don't, and I don't tell people because it's really nobody's business, but a lot of people don't know the trauma and the heartbreak and the things that I went through with my ex-husband. A lot of people don't know that.
Right.
Again, I was very, very stressed. I was depressed. And
but
that's why I
said, take that lunch to good old Randall.
Sure did, because throughout the depression, she said, "I'm about to give you something to eat." You want number 2? You want number 3?
Let me tell him, look, you need to go look this way.
Right, that's what you got to do, even though you ain't got to get no car sale. What you gotta do is, I just want you to know
get a lunch.
that we don't, because you made a great point, Tone, because I feel like this is Victoria speaking. A lot of times they say, you got to be this before you get married. You got to be, you got to have everything perfect. You got to have everything straight. You can't be depressed. You can't be sad. You can't be all these different things that happen in life until you ain't ready. Because if you ain't ready to meet them. And I'm just like, is that necessarily true? Then when I hear the story, I'm like, so you mean to tell me until the world or people confirm that I'm ready? You know what I mean? So
one thing that I truly had to do before I could fully commit myself, my love, my heart, my mind, spirit to Randy is I had to forgive my ex-husband. If I had not forgiven him, this would have never worked, because then you're cutting off them ties. Regardless. But we were just talking about this the other day. Forgiveness is not always for the other person. Forgiveness is for you to be able to move
always.
Right. Shout out Pastor Kirby Clemens, because he always say that. It's for the other, it's not for the other person, it's for you.
No, it's for you so that you can truly move on with your life. And it wasn't hard. I mean, I had been with that man since I was a sophomore, a junior in high school.
Yep, show enough.
So to really truly cut off that and to be able to truly love again, it was hard. It's not easy. It wasn't easy. I mean, he can call. I'd be like, hey, how you doing? Everything good? Okay, here go the boys. And that's it. Stay safe.
Yeah.
So yeah. But
so you had to cut off
but you should tell them about your walking across Brady.
Oh, no. That's legit.
We're ready.
The what?
Oh my goodness. Really?
Yeah,
we're ready.
That's how you remember they asked the question of how you knew I was the one.
That's right.
Well, I mean, it was as I was going through a transition in life, you know, and
You're such a man. They only gonna give you like they ain't gonna give you too deep now. They just gonna give you a little piece. Go ahead.
So I mean, this would have been about 5 or 6 years before I even met Tone. I was taking a walk one night, and I was feeling broken.
Mm-hmm.
I was feeling broken. I was trying to, you know, just do some different things in life, you know, as a man, as a Black man, trying to, you know, create ideas. And I felt broken, and it was really, really cold night. And I was walking, and I had a real good conversation with God, with Spirit. And, you know, in this conversation, I'm walking, I'm crossing busy roads. And, you know, to this day, I know God got me across those streets, you know, without, you know, getting hit by a car. Because I honestly, in this conversation that I had, I don't remember looking for cars as I crossed these roads, and I crossed a few busy roads. I was really well protected with Spirit. But in this conversation, I was asking, you know, like, you know, why is it so hard to find, you know, a beautiful woman, the type of woman that I would like, you know? And I was just letting Spirit know, you know, what type of woman I wanted in my life for me, and what type of woman that I wanted in my life, you know, for my children. And, you know, in this conversation, I'm crying, you know, I'm crying and everything. And Spirit spoke to me, and very loud, and it stayed deep within. And Spirit told me that your wife, because at this point in time, I was done with the institution of marriage. I was done. It was an institution to me. I was not going back, you know. And God said, your wife is praying for you right now, you know. And I'm like, what in the world, man? What kind of stuff is this? And this is a real conversation. It's a real conversation.
I understand. Yeah.
And I'm like, wife, I'm not getting married, man. What wife, man? And how would I know? And you'll meet her. You'll meet her soon. And I'm thinking, like, this is ridiculous. How am I ever gonna know? And Spirit kept saying, you'll know. And there were some different things through the when we're dating that Tone did that brought that back. And like I said, that's like 5 years earlier. And certain things that she said in our relationship, it triggered the memory back to that walk. And I had a whole vision of her being my wife, being wherever she was at, and she was crying and she was praying. And so, you know, at that point in time, that's when I knew that I was in love, and I wanted to marry her, you know. So
Oh my goodness.
That is beautiful. Thank you for sharing that story. Thanks.
Y'all right. Start crying, girl. Because you know why? Because this is such a beautiful moment. We have heard so many stories about everybody's relationships, and they've all been different, and they've all been beautiful. And we just appreciate the fact, Brother Randall, that you were able to say, let me be transparent and let you know, this is what was going on with me. I was broken. I was speaking to God about it. You don't understand what I'm saying? You was crying. That is a big deal. And I'm just grateful. I'm grateful that God told me to ask y'all to come on the show. That's really what it boils down to. Because God is ordering the steps. Spirit is ordering the steps. Yeah. So he's telling me who to ask. So I'm grateful. I'm like, gosh, Tone. We don't know your husband. We ain't know nothing about him. But I'm saying, yes.
And to Victoria's point, it's major, right? When a man, we have single guys, and we talk about going through your process of healing or getting to understand yourself. But a lot of men aren't secure and confident in themselves to be transparent, right? Yeah, you'll be transparent with your partner sometimes, but to be transparent and confident enough in your relationship and in yourselves that you're willing to share with the world. Because it's only going to help others, right? It's only going to help us grow and take that wisdom and knowledge. And we have men in here. We have people in the chat saying, I'm about to cry. A guy's about to cry. People saying beautiful story, right? So sharing that testimony. Tone was like, oh, my relationship is born. No, everybody has a story, and everybody's story touches somebody. Right.
Yes, honey.
So
because when we first started this show, I'm gonna be honest. When we first started this show, we were trying to figure out, we were like, why are these men not saying nothing? We can't get no men to come on the show. Why they not being emotional? Why we not? And we asking everybody, we grateful to all the men who have come on. We really appreciate you because you were a part of the process. And your process is just as great as anybody else's. But we was like, come on, somebody give me something. Somebody, I mean, so I feel like the way it's gonna come in a way that you don't know it's gonna come, but it's gonna come. Right. So I'm just grateful. I'm just so grateful, Pastor Barbara Benjamin. I'm just so grateful.
We have one more comment, Tone. So we have Rayma in the comments. She said Tone has always had. She said Tone has always had a beautiful spirit. I'm glad she found someone who is deserving of her beauty.
Yes.
Yes. Tone, I'm telling you, that's our sister. That I remember we had some great times. We had some great times. We just did. You know that we're grateful because so many people don't have that.
Yeah.
Some people don't have that to look back and say, the fact that I can even come back and say, oh, you remember this guy from 10 years ago? I'm asking to be on the show. You know, the fact that I can do that, that's a big deal for me. I mean, even if I don't do nothing else, it's big for me. You know what I'm saying? For everybody. So.
And when Victoria told us, we were like,
yes. I was like, y'all, we got to get on this show. We got to talk, y'all. We got to talk. And the fact that this is what everybody needed outside of just us, people just want to hear. People want to say, oh, wow, I'm inspired by your story. Because even hearing what you're saying, Brother Randall, you know, you might inspire some man to say, boom, I think I'm not the only person who was dealing with God like this. Like I'm asking him, God, I'm done with these women, but there's something that I want. So the fact that you are, and Tone, you already know, you're inspiring us anyway. So, and the fact that y'all got 7 kids.
Like to add something.
The fact that y'all got 7 children. Jesus.
Go ahead, Randy.
I don't know if you guys addressed it, but you know, something else that's really important with blended families is the open, clear communication. Definitely. Right from the start, because you have to allow. Well, one thing that's important is the discipline. Yes. You know, understanding each other, how you discipline, you know, the children, because everybody disciplines different. So that's really, you really need to know clearly before getting married or anything, how do you discipline the children, or sit back and watch that, observe how the other person, while you're dating, how they discipline, how they react to certain things, because that's a big one. And also if you can be friends with the other parent, you know, because everybody's a parent at this time, helping to raise a child or children. Be friends. You don't have to hang out all the time, you know, but it's good to be friends. I called Mark a few times, you know, like, hey, you know, your children they're struggling, you know, they need to hear from their father, you know. We had some pretty good, decent conversations, and I would say we have somewhat of a friendship, you know. So I can pick up the phone, you know, whatever, and give him a call, or he can call, and we can have a good conversation. So just keep the communications clear if you can. And just, you know, the first conversation with him was, you know, I'm definitely not trying to take your spot, man. You're the father, man. That's outstanding, man. So I'd love to see you come by and pick him up, things like that. You know, I think one time I even offered to
fly him to Iowa
out, and you can got a hotel room and everything, you know, just to spend time. So if you can have those communication and relationships, that is very key, because they need to see the parents being able to work through something and get along. Yeah. So I just want to share that.
Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, everything you said has been amazing, guys. Every time I just get so shocked. Like, I'm like, what are they gonna say? What are they gonna do? What are they gonna, you know? I mean, I'm just saying, I said it about everybody. I'm like, okay, Lord, please let it be. I hope it's gonna be something, but this one was just what it needed to be. I'm just grateful. Hello, I will never stop saying that. I will never stop saying that. So I guess.
Well, but Victoria, one last question before y'all finish. You know, I love asking. I know he just spoke about discipline and communication.
Oh yeah,
but are there any other words of wisdom or knowledge
You
drop
already
for
know.
the
I was gonna tell
singles,
you.
the married,
Told you.
the blended families? Any last words of wisdom you would share with the audience and us?
Right.
I would say be patient. Trust the process. You know, trusting the process is important, you know, and being patient with yourself, those around you, and go within. Like, I truly like unleashed my spiritual side that I never really truly understood that I had. I always knew I was different, but you know, when I met Randy, I never meditated. You know, in the church, they was like, you meditate on God's word and you meditate on it, you know. And so to meditate now, I'm like, let's get it. To be able to go within, and you have to go within. You have to seek what your ancestors, your spirit guides, the angels, they have for you, your higher self, and you truly have to go within and just trust the process. It's not going to be easy. But just trust the process and try to disconnect those soul ties, because soul ties are a real true thing, and you have to disconnect from them. You have to. So yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Brother Randall, you got something to say? You want to tell the people?
Just, I mean, be okay with not being perfect.
Yes.
You know, you're gonna do some mistakes. There's gonna be some times, just like, you know, in any family, where you might say something a little too harsh, or you might have said the wrong thing. Be okay with making those mistakes, because somebody else in another part of the family, they might look at it a different way. Well, why did he come, or why did she come at, you know, the child like this? And they'll hone in on you. But you know, if you were like a biological family, they wouldn't have honed in on it so much, you know.
Right.
But so be okay with the mistakes. Be wise at what you share with others.
Yes.
Right. Because even with those mistakes, some people will be able to forgive you, but others, they're not going to be able to forgive, you know. They're always, you know, so just be really wise with what you choose to share about your family and your marriage.
That's why I said, you know, like, for us to do this, we're private people, like, seriously. You know, y'all didn't even know we was back in Atlanta. A lot of people now they do, but
I was down.
you know, I saw a couple. I think I saw like Courtney at I saw Tamasha at QT. She was like, "What you doing? You know, you been on vacation? You know." So yeah, we just private, but we are grateful and appreciative that you guys thought enough of us to ask us about a blended family, because there's a lot of other blended families. Y'all know, I think probably all the cathedral are blended family. So you know,
now it is.
But you never know who's watching. That's why you know, always be yourself, because you never know who's watching. Because unbeknownst to you, although we didn't know you was in Atlanta, you know, we knew you. We knew your type of character. We knew how you move. And definitely knowing your story and things like that, just for me, but then itself brings me a lot of hope. You know, I'm a single mom, so I'm like, oh, let me get back out there, trying that whole being patient and you know, when to let people in, when to bring your guard down, like, you know, those things are tough. And so it just brings me a lot of hope to hear your story. And I appreciate it that you guys are sharing, and the knowledge that you did share definitely brought me a lot of hope, and I'm grateful for it.
Hey girl, please stop talking about it. I'm not trying to cry. I'm good. Girl, you already know. So yes,
vibrate for how long? You should be able to carry a whole bunch of notes.
This is what song I'm trying to say.
Yes, shout out to Vibrate. Okay,
Vibrate, that's crying.
So, all right, thank you guys so much. We're not gonna keep you long. You guys are amazing. Tone and Brother Randall, Sister Tone. We really appreciate you guys. We really appreciate your transparency, your vulnerability, just being open and honest with your story and not allowing it to be anybody else's but yours. Yeah. So we love you for that. And everybody else, thank you guys for watching. It's been a great show. As always, you know what to do. You're supposed to follow us on Instagram, YouTube, all that good stuff. Facebook, we have our page. And then, yeah, y'all stay safe. So you guys have a great weekend. And I think we about to get off right now. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Thank you.